Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is ExperiencePoints, and here we are, the second last mission of the Red Turn, the road to Berlin. Now we're going to head into Vistula-Oder. Vistral. Sounds like a weird disease. Anyway, this mission is about distance. Unfortunately, over anything else. You have a lot of units, but you have a lot of ground to cover. So, let's just begin. Supply, very simple. You have the 3 roads that are coming from the east. Important to note that while you have these 3 roads, you don't have any of the roads that actually do seem to connect up deeper in the map if you don't control either the city, which is your objective, or this road here. As for your objectives, there are many of them. You need to make your way inland, so as you see, this is your first one at turn 2, then inland, turn 3, Warsaw and the flank, turn 4s, turn 5, and then turn 7. Now, it's possible to get all these on turn, and then miss out on this. So you got to make a conservative effort to actually take this a lot sooner than you might expect. The supply for the Germans is interesting in that you have all 8s, which seems to be the typical range here, and you have 2 in the southwest and 1 up here in the northwest. And these are going to be important because we're going to cut off supply a lot as we go. So let's begin. Your infantry, again, great for making a breach, and then use your armor to really extend that breach. So the initial turns here are very important because you need to extend when you can. You need to push in deep. These armor units are going to be a pain, so they also need to be removed. And we did nothing, which was very, very sucky. So I wasn't going to waste an attack. But that was great. I now have my unit directly on this one, and I wanted to attack this off the bat because just want to point out something about this. It has flak, and you may note this has flak, this has flak, this has flak, so you can't strafe these units, which makes life difficult. This has wow, the Jenga Panzer. Massive defense in that one, almost as good as a Tiger 2 special step. But as for the other units, their special steps aren't anything really special there. But units doing on objectives seem to have flak in them. So what we want to do is really create gaps for our armor to breach, as we want to push up and we want to push around. We also want to get our infantry in because you got a lot of reinforcements at the start, particularly here and also in here. So you need to clear out these zones of enemy control, but you also need to make consigned, or very concise, I should say, movements towards your latter objectives. You've only got so much time, and you really need to make the most of it. So as we see, bringing in a reinforcement so we can keep pushing. Okay, bringing in the cavalry, because we really do want to make the cavalry do a great run for it. So it's important that he gets as far forward on the first turn as possible. For here, we want to encircle these units, because they're more trouble than they're worth attacking. As you see, they're quite well grounded. Okay. This is a bit of a, you know, was it the okey pokey? Hokey pokey? You put, you know, 1 unit in, you take 1 unit out, and then you fight it all about. So it's a bit of micromanagement in that, but you want to maximize your attacks. Here, you need to get rid of this unit because you need to drive your armor to clear out this unit here. So again, we're encircling and we're pushing our armor up to also come through here. Thus more likely we'll create a big defensive pocket of Axis forces in here, which is okay because we use the river to also cut them off. So bringing our armor in here, we want to do as maximum damage to clear out this unit. So we cleared out the unit that was here, we cleared out the one that was here, and then we need to get rid of this guy. And we need to do that to really capitalize on pushing up and in, because we can get reinforced units. So my troops are tripping over themselves, but as you see, we can bring in some quite nice units, and they do have some special steps, which are okay. I would like to point out that if you don't try to starve out the units just on the objective, they're impossible to take with infantry. You do need heavy armor, and you're going to need these armor units to actually dislodge this unit, because he has so many bonuses to defense. Infantry alone, even with artillery, even with like the special step, even with attack after attack after attack, will not dislodge them. You have to use armor, which is something I learned when I had my armor units up here and had to start again. So, what are we doing? We're continuing to get many of our troops again as we can across the bridge or near the bridge, and bring up our armor. You can't really do much here. Again, this is maybe a bit of a throwaway. But once this guy's moved, you can't move him out again, which really sucks. So maybe we can, you know, 3 steps of suppression, but that's all. We couldn't have taken it because this unit had to move. So, okay, so as you see, they really want to hold you in here, and they want to use the river as the northern defense there. So, it's really going to come to bite them. So they try to withdraw. Unfortunately, I couldn't close that pocket. But it's no real worry. We're going to suitably deal with that next. Sorry about that. Okay, so as you see, now we have to take this objective, so we're going to put every unit we can, and we got to withdraw. Brilliant. Important to note, put a strong unit in there, so the counterattack is not going to bite you in the rear. Also important to note, I drove this armor up because we need to think about this objective here, turn 4. And he can take a slightly aggressive push to get him out. Also need to make sure that this tank doesn't sort of retreat back and cause any grief. Okay, my next point is to, so I'm shifting forces this way and I'm shifting them around this way. We really want to cut these guys off so that their main body of armor is useless. So our goal here is to cover this and really drive home. These units will be useless, same with these, because they'll be out of supply. So we want to make sure they can't reconnect with their own supply. Okay. And infantry is pretty disposable at this point. We just want to keep a strong line here. Okay, not too much to worry about there as we drive in. Again, I'm probably throwing infantry away here for no particular reason, but if I can clear them out, they'll less have to worry about. But again, if you can just contain them, they'll eventually run out of supply themselves anyway. So, crossing the river, we want to make a good push towards this objective that we have to take in the next turn. So, this being the biggest threat, we want to definitely get rid of this unit. This unit can cross over in the next turn if I'm not able to hold this side of the bank. So we're going to see if there's any units that allow me to do that. Now, I am pushing up with my horsemen. I want to try to achieve 2 different things with my horsemen. Just to take note, if you see the supply, if I can capture this, I've already cut off these southern supplies because I took this road here. If I capture this supply, I drain these guys out. Now, I need to do that by turn 5 to take this to have any reasonable impact on this objective, and it's very important that you do. Your cavalry have to really push in and push deep, so into their enemy's zone of control. Okay, just moving our army units up, trying to get the strongest ones towards our objective. And these units back here are really just, they're going to hold, they're not going to do much more. As you can see, I took a bit of a hit, but I took one off him. Very important to attack with these armoured units. You need to start weakening them up in your second turn to take this objective by turn 4. Okay, 2 lines of infantry, there's no problem with them attacking here. The biggest issue now is them trying to break through and reconnect this way. So we're going to expect a retreat across the river and to take losses. But again, only 1 more turn, and then those that entire pocket is just out of supply. So let's watch that happen. Okay, that was a very quick turn. Now, again, drive our cavalry up. We're trying to push this fella up as well. We're trying to hedge our bet by doubling our odds here. So definitely take full use of that 7 range and just drive them towards this supply point over here. Okay, use our infantry just to clean out the zone of control. You also want to bring your infantry into this area and to take this road. Otherwise, as you can see, your supply won't be able to really reach out there. And these units are going to go out of supply pretty quickly. Okay, trying to hit with our strongest units. Do what damage we can. So really, your tactics need to be that you make sure you get the maximum punch and the maximum hit. So you don't want to attack with weakest units if you're only going to get 1 suppression, if you can guarantee a hit and a win with a heavier unit without taking damage. So you need to be really conscious and weigh it up. You know, click on the unit, see what it is. Maybe move in a better unit, even if you have to move a unit out. And you just gain that through really playing this game. It's like any sort of card game. You learn what one unit does, and you say, sorry, what card or a creature does or a special ability, and you learn how to maximize its potential. Or that sounds very was it Tony Robbins? Maximize your potential. Rather, you know how to use an ability for its full damage and full kick, and that's what you really want to do with your armor. Okay. Oh, the IS-2. It's quite a nice tank. 14-2. They could go toe-to-toe with the Panzer 2. Sorry, the Tiger 2. So, these names are quite familiar from the Company of Heroes game. Company of Heroes 1, highly suggest it. It's a brilliant game. Oh, so you see I had to hit with my heavier armor to dislodge this guy. And to really inflict some damage. Now, since I've got him that weak, I want to put a unit in there and I want to claim it. So we got that objective a turn early, which was quite nice. But it took a real conservative effort by my armor to take that. And now we can start to bring up our other units. These units will be out of supply, so there's no threat there. And really, it looks like the only threat on the battlefield now is going to be this fella and this one. The rest are all defensive. My airstrikes are doing nothing at all. So this guy has to be taken next turn. It looks like we're in an okay position. Yeah, I can reorder some of my troops. I think if you have the opportunity to, reinforce these units here while you can. So just disband a unit or 2 at the back here and no problems. So he snuck through and got resupplied. That's disappointing. They're trying to cut off supply, and he got resupplied. So let's see if our airstrikes do any better here. Oh, that was very nice. 3 suppression. And there we go. He is just a target. So we got him, and it looks like, oh, there we go, very nice. We're able to bring up our other unit. Otherwise, I would have had to attack with my cavalry, which wasn't the best go. As you see, I cleared out, just taking a special note, cleared out this area because I wanted to make sure that I had that supply to resupply these troops over here, even though they're the extended of their range. Bringing my infantry in just to make sure that they can't reconnect their supply up, though given the supply here has been captured and here is in my zone of control, there's no real worry. These units will be useless. But that's where our infantry is going to come in. There's absolutely no threat by them anymore. So we're going to shoot our units up, but we should have this by turn 5. This guy is doing exceptionally well. And our infantry now is just going to make sure we can't get entangled in any of these fights with these units here. So here we go, a bit more damage. Again, you can't do anything, but I'm obviously not going to leave my objective open. I'm going to capitalize. You gotta take the objective back, and it's past the turn when you're meant to take it, you'll have to restart the mission. So there we go, and now the infantry really is useless. We can probably just use them to attack here. Bringing up our armor, we're going to need a certain amount of units to attack here by turn 5. So we're going to sorry, tongue tie there. We're going to want to make sure that we have enough armor to come up and attack this, and also progressing the rest of our armor along the supply route, and also probably this way, though the forest here makes it very difficult. There we go. Okay, so there's supply. So let's just take a look. It looks like this guy's resupplied by the road, so unfortunately I wasn't able to really affect him. But as we see, these guys definitely out. And, down south, it's just going to be an infantry cleanup. Yep. A turkey shoot. Absolutely gone. Now let's just get rid of this fella. Oh, repulsed! See that? It's insane. Driving our armor up. Okay, we just have a look. He's out of supply, but he's captured there, so good. He's going to be actually really weak by the time we have to take him. And now we're trying to suppress this target, which has no flak 88, so we're quite lucky. Or quite fortunate. But we have to be careful as well here, because once a unit moves in and attacks, we can't move it out again. So I have one more opportunity here to attack. If I don't kill the unit, okay, I can move it out. That was very fortunate. It would have been very disappointing if I did all that effort and then bang, there's no way to attack him, because two sides of these hexagon are defendable. Unbreachable. Okay, we should now be, as you see, we should be able to have supply line. Yep, it's very good. We don't need to worry about that. We are actually reached. So now we're trying to drive everything west as fast as we can. Our horsemen here are going to play a huge part in actually taking this. Okay, this is kind of useless, but we can at least reinforce maybe some horsemen up here. Okay, and there's nothing that the enemy could do. They only had 3 units, sorry, and 2 of them were in a position that they wouldn't want to move and one couldn't move. So, how do I like that? We're doing as much damage as we can straight off the bat. And I do believe I wanted to take this because they're under control, and I wouldn't have been able to move up that much anyway. But my horsemen here were pretty much going to win this. These units are not going to get there. I could have probably brought these ones up, but I doubt they would have actually been able to reach. Just given the extent that they would have had to travel. Okay. It's nice, but I couldn't take the city. And I don't believe I'm going to be able to take this. This sucks out 2 movement points per turn. I would have only had 5 plus the attack. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe that unit could have attacked, and that's it. Well, it lost 2 supply, and as you see, it's now completely confined there, completely suppressed, but then we took it. So it was quite a nice thing. So, refreshing. Use your infantry to breach. You want to smash through here and have your armor. This sort of armor units come through here, and some of your armor units will probably push up this way, and then you'll sort of flank. You will be a good strategy to flank around here, and get so your horsemen straight up here to capture this by turn 5. Your other over here, you want to get rid of this unit so you can push your armor up here, and then get rid of this unit, then so you can get rid of this unit. You'll try to probably encircle. It would be good if you could draw in your enemy into here, and then encircle them with infantry up this way, and then bring some of your infantry out this way to cut them off and use the river to really hound their supply and give you that defense bonus. Over here, you need to bring these armor units to attack here. So these particular, because they're the strongest. With a 7 and 6. It's quite nice. It's even better than the 6-5. So that's the plan there, and then shoot your cavalry up again. And these fellas, they try to cut them off. Then push your armor up this way, then down here, then over here. So that's how it's done. I hope you gained some experience from watching this, and 1 to go. It's exciting times. Have a good one.